everybody, Chelsea here. I am about 1.5 weeks into my Weight Watchers journey, and I've really been enjoying it. And I think you guys have all heard that my favorite part about Weight Watchers so far has been the app full of recipes, which is great and easy to feed my family off of. If there's something that we feel like eating, I just search for the recipe inside the little app, and usually something will pop up. It may not use the exact same ingredients that I normally use. It may not cook it in the same way, but there's an equivalent in the app, which is great. So today I just scrolled on through the app and typed in pumpkin spice latte because there is a little bit of crispness in the air and I want a pumpkin spice latte. And blew my mind, there was no pumpkin spice latte recipe in the app. It's like my one big thing that I want to have in the fall. Okay, I lie. I love all the things in fall. I love the apples and the caramel apples and the pumpkin scones, the pumpkin pies. Like, I love it all. But I do love a pumpkin spice latte. So I went ahead and I searched Google for all the different kinds of Weight Watchers approved pumpkin spice lattes. And I came up with 3 kind of different variations, and so I thought I would try them out today and let you know what I will be drinking this fall. So to get started, I'm going to start with a recipe that has the most points. Now this one has 9 points on green. The recipe says it's 8, but I went ahead and I input the information into the app and it showed up with 9. So I'm not sure where their math is different from mine, but I'm going to go with the higher number because I want to be accurate. Like, I'm doing this, I'm on this journey and I'm going to be successful. So the ingredients for this is 2 cups of skim milk. They said you can use whole, but I'm using skim because I'm trying to, be good. It's going to be 3 tablespoons of pumpkin puree, and make sure that you get the puree and not the pumpkin pie filling because that's going to have all the sugar. 1 tablespoon of brown sugar, which is awesome because those sugar substitutes like Trulia or Stevia, like, I would rather not. I mean, I do. I drink I drink a Diet Coke, usually 1 a day. I'm drinking that Premier protein shake every morning, so there's sugar substitutes into there. But I feel like there's this little small voice in my head that says, anytime they come up with a sugar substitute, like, you wait like 5 or 10 or 15 years and then all of a sudden, oh, it causes cancer, but this one doesn't, and you should use this one. So I try not to drink too many or eat too many, or at least I'm aware of it, but I still do. But if I get the chance to have a recipe that doesn't have the sugar substitute, I'll go for that if I can. And then it's going to use 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, and then ½ a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. So our first step is going to be to heat up the milk. Oh, and ½ a cup of really super strong coffee. I've got a whole pot brewing right now. I did 7 tablespoons, like heaping tablespoons for 10 cups. Normally I do 5 heaping tablespoons for 10 cups, so I made it stronger than I normally do. It's nighttime. I don't need to be drinking this coffee, but anyway, it's my kids are in bed, so here we are. All of the science experiments happen at night, because if my kids were awake, you would not be able to hear me right now. All right, so I'm putting in the pumpkin, I'm putting in the sugar, and I'm gonna head over to the stove and get this heated up. Okay, we're back. It's all heated up, nice and bubbly and warm. It smells really, really, really good. I said earlier that this is 9 points. It's 9 points for the whole recipe, and it's gonna make 2 cups. So really, if you're gonna just drink 1 cup in the morning, then it'll be about 5 points on green. But if you're gonna drink both, which if I make 2 cups, then I'm probably gonna drink 2 cups, then it'll be 9. So we have mixed together the milk and the pumpkin and the brown sugar. And now we're just gonna add in the 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract, which seems kind of like a lot, but who doesn't like vanilla? And the ½ teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And then, most important part, the caffeine, the coffee. And this is our pumpkin spice latte number 1. How did I not know? Fat fat-free Ready Whip is 0 points on Weight Watchers on green. Like really, like zero points. Like what's in it? It's not just air. Something's getting ready to come out. So we're gonna add a little whipped cream to that. All right. So this one, 5 points for 1 cup, and I generally will, in the morning, if I'm having coffee, I'll have a cup of coffee. I'll usually put 2 tablespoons of coffee mate or some kind of creamer in there, and that's 4 points. So this is for just 1 point more. I can have a pumpkin spice latte with no sugar substitute and whipped cream. That is pretty good. That is pretty good. All right, so that's number 1. Oh, that's really good. All right. Okay, we're on round 2. Now, a lot of the recipes that I looked at, I mean, there was hundreds. There was tons of recipes to look at, and almost all of them use some form of milk, some sort of pumpkin, some sort of spice, a little bit of vanilla, some kind of sugar, whether it be brown sugar or a sugar substitute. I mean, they were all kind of the same. This one stood out to me because I wanted to try one with skim milk. I wanted to try one with almond milk. I don't like almond milk. I always try to like almond milk. They say once you get used to it, it's better. That hasn't happened yet, but I'm not gonna quit trying. So I've got my almond milk here, but we'll see how this one goes. It's gonna use, well, let's just go ahead and get started. So this recipe, we're just throwing it all on, and they actually want you to cook it for like 30 minutes or put it in a slow cooker. And I've seen a lot of people say, oh, definitely cook it in the slow cooker, it's gonna be better. So I think, I'm not gonna do a slow cooker today, but maybe the next time that I have company coming over, I may try to do that. It might give a richer flavor, I'm not sure. This one really stood out because, you know, the other recipe wanted 3 tablespoons of pumpkin. This one wants almost an entire cup. It's 3/4 of a cup of pumpkin puree. So, I mean, I've got the can open, right? So I might as well go ahead and dump it all in there. Make sure I save enough for the next recipe. And then this recipe wanted me to use a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar, so I've got that here, and I'm gonna go ahead and dump it in. And then also 3 tablespoons of stevia. Now I mentioned before, I don't really like to use sugar substitutes if I don't have to. The other recipe used just a tablespoon of brown sugar, so we're just gonna leave it like this, and I'm not gonna add the sugar substitute. Also, I don't have any in the house. I'll take that into consideration when I'm doing my judgment. So next we're gonna do 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So that's just like the other recipe. And unlike the other recipe, they want you to put a tablespoon of almond extract. What? I thought that was interesting. That's why we're trying this one. So lots of pumpkin and a little bit of almond flavoring. So, ooh, all right. And then we're gonna do half a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And then an additional half teaspoon of cinnamon, which I think is a good call because that's my favorite seasoning within the pumpkin spice blend anyway. So we're gonna mix this up. We're gonna heat it up. Ooh, that's a lot of pumpkin. We'll report back. All right, we've got this cooking away, but it smells really interesting. That almond extract is really giving it a different dimension that I can't say I've ever had in a pumpkin spice latte before, so I'm really excited actually to try it. And then I'm going to add a cup and a half of strong coffee, which I should have done earlier, but I forgot. That's okay, we're all friends here. And I'm wondering if they didn't include the almond extract to kind of disguise the almond milk flavor. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so pumpkin spice latte recipe number 2 is on the burner. It is starting to heat up. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but that serves that all of that wonderfulness gives you 4 servings. So the first recipe gave us 2 servings. This one's giving us 4. I'm gonna have pumpkin spice latte for days after this video, which is awesome. And then this last recipe was really interesting. This one uses 4 ounces of coffee, strong coffee or espresso, which again, I don't have an espresso machine, but I'd like one. And then it uses the Premier protein shake, which, you know, we already had this discussion. I'm a big fan. I drink these every morning. And so this you know, it specifically said to use the caramel one. So I've had that one before. It's pretty good. I don't generally, I don't really like it much by itself, but I can see that this might make a good base for a pumpkin spice latte. So I'm excited about that. Then it wants a 1/4 cup of pumpkin. And this recipe was a little janky. There was all kinds of like pop-up ads and kind of weird stuff popping up, but I was really intrigued by the fact that I wanted to use the Premier Protein Shake, so I went ahead and used it. But I couldn't see where it said that there was a serving size. So all of this though, the pumpkin is 0 points, the spices are 0 points. The only thing that is any points at all is this protein shake, which is 2 points on green. So if this is just 1 serving, which it looks like it might end up being maybe 2 cups, but let's just say it's 1 gigantic cup, then it's also gonna be just 2 points, just like the recipe before ours. So it just wants us to add the pumpkin, the espresso. It wants us to add 3 Truvia packets. Now I don't have any. I should have some, but I don't. So I'm gonna skip it because I know that these have a lot of, there's already a sugar substitute in these. They're pretty sweet. So I think it'll be fine without it. But again, I will keep in mind that as I taste it, if it's not sweet enough, then I know I need to buy some stevia or some Trulia or whatever that stuff's called. All right, and then it just says cinnamon and nutmeg, but it doesn't give me any amounts. So I'm just gonna eyeball it. I'm gonna do ½ a teaspoon of each, because why not? So I probably shouldn't have put that much nutmeg. That was a lot of nutmeg. All right. This one doesn't call for any kind of vanilla or anything like that. So I'm gonna mix this up and I'm going to stick it on the stove, and then we are almost ready to have a taste test. Okay, so here we are. Here's the taste test. We've got recipe number 1, which was 5 points per cup, but used actual milk and no sugar substitutes. Recipe number 2, which used almond milk and had some almond extract in it, which was interesting. And recipe number 3, which used the caramel Premier Protein Shake and nutmeg instead of the pumpkin pie spice. So we already know I like this one, but I really like it, so I'm gonna have another sip. That is gonna be hard to beat. All right, number 2, I have not tasted this yet, and it's really hot. Yeah, so I'm thinking that almond extract was not my thing. No, I don't think so. I'm gonna do a pass on this one. Now granted, I did not add the stevia that I asked for, but it's not the lack of sugar that is not making me love this. Granted, I don't like almond milk and still don't like almond milk, but maybe next time. And then this one is the caramel. Okay, so too much nutmeg, but that was on me because they did not add any kind of, so I would probably just put in like a ½ a teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice to make sure that the balance was good. But this actually isn't bad. Now, this is only going to be this is actually going to be less than 2 because I only used half the pot. So this is probably 1 point. One point. This is only 1 point on Weight Watchers. Wow. So it's only gonna be 1 point on Weight Watchers, which is awesome, but you're gonna have to use an entire Premier Protein Shake, which those things are, for 4 of them, $7.47. But if you make one for today and save the other one for tomorrow, hey, I think that if I care the most about taste, I'm gonna go with recipe number 1 if I can eat those 5 points. But if I am trying to get the fall experience, but I don't wanna spend 5 entire points on it, then this is definitely gonna be my go-to. So, all right. I'm ready for fall. Oh, that's good. I am ready for fall, and I hope you guys are now too. I am going to leave the links to these recipes in the description below, so you guys are more than welcome to access those. And if you like almond milk, this may be your cup of latte. It's not mine, but both of these are really good. So thanks for joining me, and if you like this video, please do subscribe and give me some comments and let me know what you're doing this fall. Bye.